Hello, everybody. I'm Danny Antonio Martin. There we are joined here by Shivanshi Raturi and Abhinav Anurag,
Hi
and we
guys.
are back
Hi.
with the Happiness Podcast. So, today we are going to talk about different methods that you can use and formulate to handle stress and how you can, maybe just maybe defeat your stress. So, Shivanshi, Abhinav, who wants to start?
I
Come
will
on.
start.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think in our previous episodes we have already talked about what is stress, how stress is affecting you, your internal, external stresses, very depressing talks. Let's finally give you a solution for it. So we'll be talking about four major things under this: time management, setting boundaries, okay, and your nutrition levels and breathing techniques you could apply, for managing your stress. So Abhinav, let's talk about time management.
Guys, time management is a serious issue because these days people find it cool that you are waking up late till night and you're doing projects, you're coming on 3 hours, tanking on 4 hours. Dude, I'm tanking on caffeine. Dude, I'm tanking on nicotine. Yeah, man, what the hell life you're living? Yeah, these 2 3 years this will be cool and this coolness will be really good. But at the end of the time, when you grow up and you'll have some serious body issues, sleep issues, you'll be requiring pills and all that, during your 30s, and you're still young at that age.
Yeah.
You have a whole life to figure out. You have to build your career.
Yeah.
And that time you'll realize that time management is a really important issue. You need to have a, it doesn't matter even if you follow the timetable to the point, but at least have a flow chart. Have a blueprint of how you're going to do things. It's okay, you're setting the timer for 9 and you're waking up at 10. It's still fine. Do not be waking up at 3 and sleeping up at 5.
Yeah,
These
that
things
reminds
matter.
me of something. The pride that one takes in having living a unhealthier life than the other is extremely sad to see.
And
See people
people
taking pride. Yeah.
people are like, yeah, this is a really cool stuff.
I will share something funny with you guys. So I remember we were having our boards like back to 2022. In 23, I was supposed to give my 12th board. So 22, this professional person came. Like he was a psychologist, but he came to give some career counseling and ask us that what are the problems we face now that we have to give our boards and we're deciding our careers. So this girl stood up. She was from another section. I don't know her, but I knew that she was in our class. She was a year senior to us. She was giving was that year. We were supposed to give next year, and she was supposed to give it that year. So she said, "Oh, sir, I am very stressed. I am usually stressed because I'm not able to get this thing done. My syllabus is so diverse." She was giving excuses basically. So teacher asked her, "How much time do you spend studying?" And she said, "An hour or so." "And how much time do you spend thinking about that you'll do something and then you feel stressed and you don't do it?" And she said, "Half of the day." So this is the
Well,
thing, you're not managing your time. You're getting
Yeah.
stressed, you're thinking about it, but you're not channelizing your time.
Yeah.
And when you don't have any
Yeah.
time left, you're stressed about it.
that's the
Obviously,
thing. Like
it's
people.
like a vicious cycle that's continuing.
Yeah. तो लोग आते हैं बोलते हैं कि हाँ भाई मैं तो भाई 1 घंटा पढ़ा हूँ एग्जाम के लिए, बोर्ड एग्जाम के लिए आया हूँ, 1 घंटा पढ़ के आया मैं।
हाँ।
मैंने तो इतना ही पढ़ के आया, मैं तो कुछ भी लिख लूंगा करके। एंड दैट्स द थिंग, लाइक people be like, they don't take pride in having me like, हाँ, I did not do enough, but watch me.
Watch
But
me.
then towards the end watching they like, get like what, मतलब
60-70%,
yeah,
and
we
then
still
And then
come
they're
on.
depressed, then they do not get into good colleges,
Some
and
Arre
guys,
bhai.
and some guys are on another level. They are like, one piece of paper cannot decide your future. It will destroy
they'll
your future.
definitely
It will
decide your
pretty much
future.
destroy
Just
your
because
future.
Albert Einstein accidentally said something when he was drunk or something, maybe everybody has taken it up.
And I think it's actually not about a paper or something, but it is about how you take up your responsibilities. If you're spending, like, you just have to give a paper today. You're in what? In 10th, 11th, 12th grade in college. You have to give a paper. You're not. You're living in a healthy life. You're stressed about it. If you cannot manage this small thing, you need to understand that you have to get ready for the real world. You'll have to do jobs one day. You'll have family one day. You'll have children someday. You cannot give them the same excuses. That day also you'll have to set an example. You'll have to live in healthy life. So in that aspect, it is very important that one realize that time management is very essential for them.
Definitely. I feel like we had a concurring or consecutive theme in this podcast regarding we are just kids, so we just try to think from our perspective. I feel like we three, at this point in time, we should consider thinking about older people who are working, people who have families, people who may have been retired and still have stress, and things like that. I feel like that's one of the things that we could actually think about saying.
Yes,
things.
yes.
Yeah.
You know, if you have read this book Ikigai, which talks about
Yeah.
the purpose of life, you know why in this traditional societies of Japan people live till this old. The main thing is time management, prioritization, and the fact that they want to work till, you know, late in their ages. They don't think that there is a certain age to retire. They don't consider that there is a certain level of success, but they judge your life by the way you live it. I think the main purpose of life is finding the purpose. And today, half of the generation, why they go into this whole vicious cycle of stress and why they are not able to come out of it is they do not know what is life.
Yeah.
They are not realizing the purpose of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, as this one legend of a guy, this Marcus Aurelius, he said, to live is to suffer, but to find meaning in that suffering, that's is called life. And you have to find the meaning, you have to find a purpose. And you know, when you just think about yourself, you can live any kind of unhealthy and life, and you can call it liberation or freedom or anything you want. But you know, when you live for people around you, you live for family, you live for
Yes.
parents, then you realize why your father, he comes from job at a certain point of time, his everything is organized, he works late till night and still wakes up early in the morning, but he still has a 5 or 6 hours of sleep so that he can work consecutively next day in a more proficient and efficient manner.
Yes, that reminds me of my uncle. Really, his name is Philip.
Yeah.
Just name dropping him. If he sees this, he'll probably be happy. That's one of the things. I just want to say that I appreciate him. He is a father of 2 children, and I see him coming back every weekend to visit his kids. He comes back from at least like 8. He lives like 80 kilometers away, and does work there. And he comes back every weekend just so he can see his kids and wife. And I feel like that's the kind of dedication that a man has. Or a woman, anybody who has a purpose in life, who knows what they want, and who is living for people, and who is happy living for them. That is one of the things I feel like. And also, I feel like, you know, completely on a side note, when she said the Japanese people live till their old ages because of time management and stuff. I feel like, honestly, all people in Japan live till like 100 years. Cause
Yeah, it's like the average age.
Just because I feel like Japan is such a beautiful place, I would not want to die if I was there. So, you know, they just keep on living to see the beauty of Japan.
Yeah.
So see, the fact that we were analyzing this component of time management is that you realize, firstly you realize that what your priorities are and you accordingly manage your time.
Yeah.
Now moving forward to the another technique you could apply to, you know, reduce stress is breathing techniques for stress relief.
Yes.
The
Yes.
power of deep breathing.
Yeah. So go on. It's like, you know, the meditation process basically that comes into action. You breathe in and you breathe out. So what it's like, you know, not just the basic stuff, you know, it's like it's a discipline. And discipline, it's not a one day thing or one time thing. You know, it's like a consecutive process, a continuous process. And you know, when you breathe in all the stress that you have, you know, all your tensions. You meditate onto one core point. What is your stress? What is causing that stress? Breathe in that and then breathe it out, you know. And that process should keep going on until and unless you realize, you know, you come at that mental peace that, okay, this is my stress, these are the things that I can do to deal with it, and these are the things that are way beyond my control. So what is not in your control, do not stress again for that, because you're just continuing that vicious cycle.
Also, like breathing techniques, I feel like we cannot not mention Professor Nitin Arora sir has taught us a lot of different breathing
Yes.
techniques. So
Yeah.
if you want to learn about those breathing techniques, you definitely have to come to our happiness center and check it out.
Yes.
So yeah.
Actually, you know, we have spent time doing pranayam, yoga,
Yes.
nidra, and it has definitely, you know,
Helped, yeah.
bring
Yes.
changes in our life.
Yes.
Yeah, it helped us in many manners.
Yeah, it's usually our last class on Mondays and Tuesdays, and we feel so relieved after it.
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, it's the whole entire day stress just being taken out by our happiness class at like 4 to
Yeah.
5.
I think people, you know, different colleges should adapt this method
Yes.
of setting one class at least a day for students so
Yeah.
that, you know, they can do mindfulness, yoga,
Yeah.
and everything. Like,
Yeah,
this
so
is a
at
very
the
good
end of the day,
initiative.
when they're stressed out from all this academic work, they have some place where they can release the stress and be themselves. And now going on to the next process through which we can adapt, you know, and get rid of the stress is setting boundaries.
Ooh.
You know, you should know when to say no.
Exactly.
And that On that, my friend Danny will be elaborating.
Just not saying no. You have to know when to say no, when to say yes, when to actually, be definite and understand about your wants and needs. That's the main thing. That's the thing. Learning to say no, protecting your energy, that's one of the things. People do bring down your energy. That's one of the things that you have to understand. People do bring down your energy. You might be trying to get out of a stressful situation by elevating your happiness, by elevating your energy, and being a mostly joyful person, and maybe people around you may be bringing you down, and that is one of the things that you have to be careful about. And even if they are, you have that energy in you. Nobody else can take that away from you because it comes from within you, and it's you.
True. I think, setting boundaries in the aspects of your life is very important. I remember being a sweet kid when I was little, and I had a very hard time saying no to people. So, when you're little, you don't realize, but when you grow up and there will be guys asking you out, and there will be other things which you are supposed to say no to, you don't want to do it, and you'll hesitate. You won't be able to tell the other person no, you don't want them in your space, or you don't want to go out with them. Then that will be a very difficult thing for you, because that will cause you stress. It has happened with me personally, and hard times made me realize that saying no is very important. Because when I have said no to people, trust me, I have actually channelized and saved a lot of my energy into other productive work.
And this world, this is a harsh place. When you're a child, you get everything, like a candy. You ask that and you get that. But when you grow up, you realize that things are tough here, and this world is full of hyenas and foxes if you don't realize it, and they are ready to hunt you down. So you have to realize that who are the genuine people, who do you have to accept, who do you have to reject, whether you have to say no. If you are just a good guy, believe me, your potential will be exploited. It won't be used, it will be misused, and you have to protect yourself from the harsh realities of the world.
True. I think that's why setting boundaries, like if you want to, let's say if you tomorrow is a party, okay, and you have a paper, and you decide that you don't want to go to the party, whether your peer makes
pressure.
peer pressure,
Yeah.
that okay, no, you should go to that party, and now you're stuck in this dilemma that how will you say no? If you say no, maybe you'll be isolated. People won't be your friends anymore. You need to realize that your priorities are totally your priorities.
Your coolness doesn't come from being drunk in a party.
Yes.
It comes from within you.
Yeah.
When you have achieved something, you are a cool guy.
Yeah, and this will save your energy, and this will save you from a lot of stressful situation.
Definitely. That's some of the important things I feel like we have covered here. Now, nutrition and stress. I feel like I don't remember who said this. I'd say a lot of things somebody said, but I don't remember who said it. So I'm just so sorry to whoever that was with a long beard and mustache who said it in like 50 years ago or 100 years ago. So you are what you eat is what I've heard a long time ago. So I do not mean that you are what you eat in the sense that if you drink Mountain Dew, you're a mountain. No. You are what you eat in the sense that if you eat good food, it is good for you, you'll be good. That's one of the things.
We in our happiness class, we have been taught this pranic food,
Yeah,
this
non-pranic food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tamasic food. Tamasic
Yeah.
food is like this of asura's food. All the unhealthy and junk food that you eat, and pranic is the natural stuff that you grow and you eat that.
Yeah. Exactly. If you eat junk food, like if you realize it makes you feel for a good, and then it gives you a kind of satisfaction. But at night, if you go through irregular digestions problem in digestion, that will cause you problem. It also affects your health negatively. If you get a disease, or if you get a flu because you ate junk food, or you do overeating and then you get obesity, that will obviously give you stress. That will lead you to living an unhealthy life, a sad life.
Hey, come on, guys. Again, come on. I mean, it's not like we are exempted from eating. I'm not saying don't eat junk
I think
food.
Eat less.
Come on.
chocolate is allowed today.
What do you mean chocolate?
Well,
You can-
everyone has midnight cravings.
Yes.
The Maggie one.
even
we love it.
even The Rock has his cheat meals once a week. He eats his cheat meals. He's he's one of the most disciplined men there are. So you can eat like once in a while, but every night and day going out to KFC and eating fried chicken,
And,
you'll end up looking like a fried
expensive
chicken.
I've seen people, they want to get slim or they want to avoid eating food, so they'll just eat a
Yes.
packet of chips.
Yeah.
They'll just smoke something and they'll not eat the whole day, and that is very unhealthy. And trust me, that will cause you stress. You won't realize it, but when you are there, you're going to feel it.
Yes. So I feel like we have covered most of the methods. There are definitely more. But we will cover those in the future sessions. We hopefully can do that.
Yeah,
And
hopefully.
guys,
So at the end of the day, eat healthy, sleep healthy,
Manage your
and
time.
Manage your time.
Be healthy to people and to
Yes.
yourself.
Yes, please stay tuned for another good podcast. We'll be concluding soon, but there are a few more podcasts that will be coming under Happiness Taxi. So the Happiness Taxi takes off. Bye bye.
bye bye. Be
Bye.
compassionate. Bye.